value to the readers, viewers, and listeners. Now, a good place to start is HARO. That stands for Help a Reporter Out, HARO. They send you an email every day with journalists looking for comments on all kinds of topics. Now, they do break it down to categories so that you can look at it each day much faster. For instance, I probably wouldn't be looking at the spiritual section. I hone right in on the business section and sometimes lifestyle section because I'm all about lifestyle businesses. Now, in the beginning, if I were you, I'd entirely look through each issue for a couple weeks to see all the kinds of stuff they look for and then narrow it down later when you see where your time is best spent. I've got some pretty good media hits from HARO. All right, so now let's break things down into formats for publicity. I'll talk about radio, podcast, TV, print, and live. Let's start with radio. See, radio is good because you pretty much have captive listeners. You have people driving in cars, not screwing the commute. They're listening for long periods of time, and this brings up an important point about people going to work and coming home, which is called drive time. And it's from about 7 to 9 in the morning and from 4 to 6 in the evening on weekdays. So if you're talking to a radio producer and they say, well, they have an 8 a.m. slot and a 10 a.m. slot available, you do everything you can to take the 8 a.m. slot. And I don't care what time zone they're in. Take the 8 a.m. slot in their time zone, even if it means you have to get up at 4:30 a.m. to be on at 5 a.m. your time. You will probably have 3 times as many listeners than you would at the 10 a.m. slot. Also, right at the beginning of your interview, expand your audience. I learned this from the great media trainer, Joel Roberts. And let me tell you a story about my Wake 'em Up Business Presentations book. So I was going through his media training, and he said, okay, I'll be the interviewer, and you go ahead and start pitching your Wake 'em Up book. And so he said to me, so Mr. Antion, tell me